what are functions in JavaScript. Be very attentive and try to do the same what I do, and try to make your own examples, because it is very important lesson. You will use everywhere functions in JavaScript and in other programming languages if you will learn them in the future. So how we define them? It is a function declaration. So basic function in JavaScript is pretty easy because the keyword is just function. And then let's create a function and name it add. So we have like this block, and after we put this block here, like curly brackets, and I hope that it is the right name for these brackets, and these symbols. So don't mix them with an object. If you remember our last lesson, we could create an object like this, but it is totally different. This is an object, and this is just a block. This is a function block, functions scope. And let's do just console log and have a look what we will get if we will do just console log our function. Just functions, empty body, nothing special. But you can do return 1. So it will be the same. And here what we can do, every function is a callable. You can call a function after you defined it. And let's this called function put in console log, and we will get 1. So what the hell is here? Let's understand why we need a function. Functions are code blocks where you need to reuse them everywhere and give a different data. For example, you have a lot of places in your code when you will add data together. So you will do 5 plus 5, and you will do 6 plus 7, or can be it is a very basic example, but it can be very complicated things. So you can create a function that will name add, and A and B arguments. This is name arguments, and you can do here A plus B. So, and when I call the function, just let's do it like this to not just forget about this console log. So we do this. I will put it just to make it print here, and here I can give 5 and comma 5. What I will get 10. So the function will get these arguments, like what I give here. This 5 is this A, and this 5 is B. Let me put it 10 to make more easy to understand. 5 is A and B is 10. And here we just do A plus B, and then we return this value. And then this add will, it is just for an example, is not a real operator in JavaScript. This A returns this value, this return. It reads from right to left. If you remember in our operators video, JavaScript do have some specific order for specific operators, how to do them. So if there is a return, it will read from right to left. So it do A plus B, and then it gives to return, and return come here and give to our console log the number. We can do const sum and A and add return the value here, and we will get the same. So we can assign our functions returned value here. Also we can do const temporary t sum. It means temporary sum, and we can just return t sum here, and it will do the same. You also can just not return anything, just put it here, and function will return undefined. We name it as a void, nothing. This function will return undefined. It will just do operation but do nothing, returns nothing. Also you can just do return and return nothing, and it again will return undefined. In our case it doesn't make sense because just it doesn't return anything. It do plus, addition, and nothing. So remember, it is the most basic way how to define functions and how to use functions in JavaScript. Let's see another example where what the other example like version of functions JavaScript has. So this is function declaration. So the second way to define a function, it is a function expression. How we will define a function expression? Let's see exactly this example. So in function expression, we can just remove the name of the function and just create const, add a variable and assign the function to a variable. So, and do like the same here, 15. You also can like do add here, put the name, but in some cases it doesn't make sense. In some cases we need it, but usually if you just like assign it to variable, you don't need it. So this one and this one almost the same. There are some tricks, some different thing in hoisting, but it is in advanced JavaScript courses. We will talk about them later in other videos. So now there is just two types of functions: function declarations, when you can define like this, and function expression, where you can, it means like just a function that assigned to a variable. And the third way how to define a function in JavaScript, there are arrow functions. It is very like popular way how to define functions. Let's refactor this function to arrow function. So arrow functions also function expressions, and instead of just writing function keyword, we just put these arguments brackets a, b, and just we do like arrow icon, and we can do, for example, return a plus b, and it will be the same as here. But what is interesting in function expressions, in arrow functions, you can define them in a single row, so you can do them like this. Technically, this and this are the same function, but just if you have a function that you have to do some very basic operation in a very short way, you can just define them in a single line with arrow function. You can't do them with function expression. Actually, with function like declaration, regular function. Actually, you can do it like this, but it is not aesthetic at all, and mostly no one do it. And if you will remove return here, it will not gonna work. But arrow functions works without return if it is on the single line. So this arrow, if it see there is no like these blocks, it will already return anything. Actually, if you will even do like this, it will work too, because it will see there is nothing and it will go to the next line. But if I will remove this return, it will not return anything. It will be undefined. Let's see an example to see it's in the rel. So 1, 2, and we get here undefined. We can return and it will be 3. Add 2, it will be 3, and this one is also will be 3. And as I said, if I will add a block here and return nothing, we will get an undefined, because we need to return something. Okay, now about arguments. So function can be without arguments. It can just return 6, and if we will give here an argument, if it doesn't have, it will not do anything. It just will be empty. So an argument, it is a like some variable that defined under the functions like property in the function. How we can log the arguments, you can just do console log and write arguments. So, and as you can see here, it is a property, and it has like it is an array. Actually, it is not an array fully, and it is not an object fully. So arguments property, it is an array like object. And you can use like length to understand how many arguments are here. So it is like 2 because we didn't give anything here yet, and now it is 3. But it's also like any other big topic that we will not gonna deep dive too much here in these lessons because we can get it complicated. So let's see an interesting thing here. So like you can just give a already default value to this parameter, like 5, and it will just be always 5 if we didn't give any argument here. And I can give here 10, and then we need to sum, and then it will work. So now let's understand what is argument and what is parameter. I a bit like said in the mixed way here. So there are sometimes like mixing, you can hear argument, parameter, and something, but actually if we understand like the right way, this function accepts 3 arguments, A, B, and J. Arguments are 5, 10, and 10, and those are parameters, A, B, and G. So arguments are the values that we injected here. That because when we did console log arguments, so we have just 3 value here, yes, but if I will not give a last one, we will have just 2 because arguments are those one and not those are just parameters. Just the function expect 3 arguments. It is just a good thing to know. Maybe you will get asked in the interview. So probably if you are a senior engineer, you will not get this question, but if you're a junior engineer, maybe they will ask you. Probably if you're a senior engineer, you don't watch my video about our objects, but if you're watching it, thanks a lot. Another thing, let's see how we can give object property some as a function. So we have an object here, and we can have add parameter, like we can have add, and it can be just 1. I know it doesn't make sense, but okay, it can be like this. But here you can have a function and you can return 1, and our object will be just this function, and we can call it as a object.add, and we can call it as a regular function. It can expect some arguments A, B, and we can do like A plus B and put here 1 and for example 5, and we will get 6. So you can have as much as you want properties here, like methods here. You can get also return and return an object. This is already an object if you return it under the function. So, and I know it's a bit can sound like complicated, but when you get it, it is very easy. So we call objects add property, and we call that add property, and it returned an object. And now we can get, for example, this, it's x property, and it is 1. So I highly recommend you to create like very complex nested object with properties to just understand when you call objects property, what do you get? Like create a big tree of object and try to reach some properties there, and you will get use it, and it will not be complicated at all. And the last function type that I would like to show are intermediately invoked function expression. What it means? It means that this function will be invoked immediately. So in our previous examples, we called a function, we created a function, and then we called it in the other line. And this function we just created, and we put these symbols here, and we call it like directly in the same line. So it will always be immediately called. If I will do 5 return, and I can assign it to a variable constant. And if I will do, if I will log it here, sum, I will get 5. So it will just call immediately in this line. In our future videos, you will understand why you need them, when. So it is not a function that we use daily basis, but it is very good to know because some challenges you can solve with that function. See you on the next video.